Hello to you today. I'm back with this card that I've done using Penny Black's Space Reserved, and I'm going to be using the top image there. Just for You is what it's called. I do like painting bears, so I thought this would be a nice one to do for today. I'm using a Colorful Life Designs lattice, leaf lattice I should say, for my background. It's beautiful leaf stencil, and I'm going to be using my Picket Fence Life Changing brushes along with Distress Inks in Cracked Pistachio and Evergreen Bough. So I'm just going lightly with the Cracked Pistachio to start. Then I'll be going around the edges with the Evergreen Bough. And then I usually check it before I decide to take everything apart, as it's all taped down nice and secure. So I think when I figure out that it's the way I like it, I do a thumbs up. So we'll know when we reach that part of the video. I'm not going to make it go through the whole video. It's a long one today. A lot of steps to this card. So I will be speeding it up through the watercoloring of the bear, but I'll discuss the card as we go along here before I do that. So the other things that I'm using, yeah, give them the thumbs up, just like I thought I did. I don't always edit these close to the time that I've actually shot them, so it's hard to remember sometimes what you've done. In any event, I'm going to stamp the image in my MISTI, and I'm going to be using Ranger Archival ink in Jet Black, as I'll be doing some watercoloring. And I'm watercoloring also with Distress Inks. I'm going to be using Scattered Straw, Brushed Corduroy, and Vintage Photo for it. Right here I'm die cutting the panel using Penny Black's Elegant Stitching die. I really like this die. It's just so, it's elegant. And it's so nice with that leaf stencil. It's just very pretty. So what I'm going to be doing here is actually adding more Evergreen Bough to the edge that's been cut off to use it as matting for the panel. The panel will be attached to some fun foam and attached to the card base, and the actual matting that I'm doing now will be glued on with Nuvo adhesive. I like that adhesive as it gives me time to still move things about if I have to. But I'm just stamping the image here, and I'm actually going to be cutting out the letters, so I'm not too worried about the piece that I'm working on. That's Ranger's Distress watercolor paper that I'm using for the image. What I'm working on now with the leaf lattice design, and this I'm working on Neenah 110 pound cardstock. So, and as I mentioned, I attached fun foam to the back of the lattice panel using score tape, and the Nuvo adhesive allows me to, this kind of sticks in the wrong place as I'm doing it here, so I have to shift it and I have to lift it up, and it gives you that time, which is, I like that anyway, that I can change it if I need to, as long as I don't let it sit for too long, which when I'm doing something like this, you're not going to let your framing sit for very long before you decide to change it. So now I just attach the panel on the fun foam, and as I mentioned, the bear and the letters I'll be fussy cutting because I want them cut out to go across the front of the leaf panel. I don't want them they're going to hang over the side just a little bit, but you'll see that as I progress. So I'm also going to be using spun sugar on the bear and abandoned coral for the flower on the bear. That'll be coming up. And it's some foam squares. I glue the letters down, and then I use foam squares to get the O and the bear get them up. So for the watercoloring, it's just standard watercoloring, using a good amount of water, adding in the ink, adding in the color, letting it flow across. Let the water bring it across the letter. And a little bit darker around the edges, lighter on the right side, as that's what I'm going to consider my light source. In any event, I'm going to try and speed this up because I don't want you to get bored, and then I'll come back in to finish it up. So I'm back with you now. I've finished watercoloring. I think I'm just going to add a bit of yellow from my watercolor palette to the center of the flower. I didn't seem to have that right color of yellow in the Distress inks. In any event, they're all colored, and I'm going to fussy cut them out now to arrange on my card panel. And I also do paint the little tab that says just for with the cracked pistachio. I think I mentioned that before. And I didn't show, obviously. I'm not going to record the fussy cutting out the pieces, but in my zest to get things done, I did have a little accident cutting off the tip of the O up at the top. My bird landed on my right hand, and of course, doop, I had that little snip. And I notice as I'm watching the video playback, my left hand, you can see all the damage I did the other day from messing around with the air conditioner, and my middle finger is quite swollen. I'm not a smoker. That's not tobacco that you see there. That is from me having my hands where they shouldn't be. So that's what you get when you do things like that. In any event, on with the card. As I said, I fussy cut them out, and here I've glued the Y and the U and the just for onto the card, the lattice part of the card. And the O I've attached with foam squares to give it a little bit more dimension. You can see the fun foam attachment. I quite like it. I think it's a very cute card. I hope you enjoyed it as well. And I thank you very much for watching today. I hope you'll check out my other videos. And I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.